thought the Philippines was poor. That's what I believed, but the reality? The Philippines shocked me in ways I never saw coming. Smash that like button if you're proud already, because this story will flip everything you thought you knew about this country. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type interested in the comments, and I will give you a heart. When I booked my flight, I carried baggage heavier than my suitcase. The kind of baggage you don't put on a conveyor belt. Preconceived notions. I thought I knew what I'd see. Poverty, crumbling streets, overcrowded slums, the kind of images that dominate headlines and lazy travel vlogs. In my mind, the Philippines was stuck in struggle, buried in corruption, and barely holding on. But the moment I landed in Manila, all of that cracked. Not in a small way, in a way that felt like reality itself smacking me in the face. Yes, there was traffic, and wow, it was endless. But even in the chaos, there was something I didn't expect. Life, energy, motion. It wasn't just cars lined up, it was ambition in gridlock, determination spilling onto every corner. People moving, hustling, laughing, working. Poverty wasn't the first thing I saw. Determination was. Here's what no one told me. Manila isn't just slums and struggle. It's skyscrapers glittering against the skyline. It's mega malls so massive they make American shopping centers look like convenience stores. It's banks, condos, business parks, restaurants, not hidden, not rare, but everywhere. 1 second you're walking past colonial architecture, and in the next block you're staring at ultra-modern towers made of glass and steel. It's a city telling the world we're not just surviving, we're arriving. And here's the sting. The world doesn't show you this side, because a poor Philippines makes for an easy headline, but a rising Philippines, that makes people uncomfortable. It shatters their stereotypes, and people cling to stereotypes like life rafts. Let me tell you about my first night in the city. Jet-lagged and hungry, I walked into a local cafe expecting something simple. Instead, I was greeted by baristas serving lattes that could rival Seattle's best coffee shops. Around me were students on laptops, freelancers taking meetings, entrepreneurs pitching startups. I realized right then, this wasn't a country left behind. This was a nation on the move, and I almost missed it because I was too busy believing old headlines. Now, I won't lie to you, the struggles are there, I saw them. Some neighborhoods still face poverty that hits you in the chest, but here's what makes the Philippines different. Those struggles sit side by side with ambition. You see a jeepney driver working sunrise to midnight, then saving every peso to send his daughter to university. You see vendors in street markets selling with the same determination as CEOs in boardrooms. And you realize the fight is alive in every Filipino you meet. That's when I understood the Philippines isn't a country defined by poverty. It's a country defined by resilience. A country that says, yes, we've been knocked down, but watch how fast we get back up. And that's why this hit me so hard. The reality of the Philippines wasn't just different from my expectations. It was better, complex, beautiful, inspiring, the kind of reality that forces you to confront your own biases and admit maybe I was the one who was poorer in perspective. So here's where I want your voice. If you believe the Philippines deserves respect, real respect, not pity, type respect in the comments right now. Let the world see how many people refuse to let stereotypes define this nation. Because what I saw in Manila was just the beginning. And if you thought the modern skyline was shocking, wait until you hear what the food revealed about the creativity, culture, and soul of this country. That's coming in segment 2, and trust me, it'll leave you hungry for more. If Manila skyline cracked my old stereotypes, the food and culture completely destroyed them. Because here's another bias I carried in. If a country is poor, the food must be boring. Basic meals, survival dishes, enough to fill the stomach, nothing more. But the Philippines didn't just challenge that idea, it spit it out, seasoned it, deep fried it, and served it back with a side of vinegar. The first dish I tried was adobo. You've heard the name, pork or chicken, slow cooked in soy sauce, vinegar, garlic, and bay leaves. But tasting it in the Philippines is a different experience. It wasn't just food, it was history on a plate. Centuries of families cooking the same recipe, tweaking it, perfecting it. The tang of vinegar, the salty punch of soy, the garlic dancing in the background. It was comforting but powerful. In a dish that said, we've been through storms, but we know how to make survival taste like victory. Then came the lumpia, those thin, golden spring rolls. Crispy, addictive, the kind of snack you promise yourself you'll eat just one more of until you realize you've demolished the entire plate. And lechon, forget it. Roast pig, so perfectly cooked, the skin crackles like glass while the meat melts like butter. It's not just a dish, it's a festival centerpiece, a symbol of pride. No Filipino celebration is complete without it. Anthony Bourdain once called it the best pig ever, and after one bite, I understood why. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just the flavors. It was the price. For a few dollars, I ate like royalty. Back home, a meal like that would cost a fortune. Here, it was affordable to everyone. Street food, especially, was a revelation. The smells alone could make you weak. Smoky skewers of grilled chicken and pork, caramelized banana Q halo halo, a dessert explosion of shaved ice, fruits, beans, and ice cream, and yes, balut. The infamous fertilized duck egg. The internet loves to mock it like it's a dare, but when I actually tried it, I realized it's not a joke, it's heritage. It's rich, salty, and soulful, and honestly, pretty good. But food in the Philippines isn't just about taste. It's about connection. It's about the way families gather around the table, the way strangers become friends when you share a plate, the way food is always more than food, it's culture served hot. One night, I was invited into a small home in Cavite. The family didn't have much, but they cooked sinigang, a sour tamarind soup, steaming in a clay pot. They insisted I eat with them. And sitting on a wooden bench, surrounded by people I'd only just met, I realized the food tasted like something no restaurant could serve: belonging. It wasn't the soup that warmed me, it was the generosity behind it. That's when it hit me. Filipino cuisine isn't just underrated, it's misunderstood. It doesn't fit neatly into boxes. It's not purely Asian, not purely Spanish, not purely anything. It's a fusion of influences made uniquely Filipino. Complex, layered, bold, and that complexity is exactly why it's powerful. The world has started to catch on. In Los Angeles, Toronto, and Dubai, Filipino restaurants are finally gaining traction. Dishes like sisig, crispy, sizzling chopped pork, and halo halo are popping up on global must-try lists. But here's the truth. Nothing compares to eating them here in the Philippines with locals who put their soul into every bite. And here's where the sarcasm slices in. The world still dares to call this a poor country. But when your street food tastes better than 5-star meals abroad, who's really poor here? So let me throw it back to you. What Filipino dish do you think deserves global recognition? Comment your answer below. Will adobo reign supreme? Or will sinigang, lechon, or even balut take the crown? I want to see the food battle light up in the comments. But let me leave you with this. The food was just the appetizer. The real main course was waiting outside the cities, in the landscapes, and in the people. Palawan, Boracay, Banawi, places so breathtaking, they didn't just shock me, they humbled me. And that's where we're going next. Because if the food proved the Philippines isn't poor, the beauty and humanity of this country proved something even bigger. The Philippines might just be richer than the rest of us in ways money can't measure. If food showed me the creativity of the Philippines, its landscapes and people revealed its soul, and nothing, I mean nothing, could have prepared me for what I saw when I stepped outside Manila. Palawan, you've seen the photos online, right? Crystal clear water, limestone cliffs rising like fortresses, hidden lagoons glowing turquoise under the sun. But here's the thing, photos don't do it justice. Standing there, surrounded by nature that looked unreal, I had one thought. This can't be the country the world dares to call poor. Then there's Boracay. Everyone warned me, too touristy, too crowded. But when I stood on White Beach at sunset, the sky bleeding orange and purple as waves lapped against the shore, I realized something. Beauty doesn't care about your opinion. Boracay still stunned me. Even with the noise of tourism, the island's magic was undeniable. And the Banavu rice terraces, those didn't just impress me, they humbled me. Imagine mountain after mountain carved by human hands, step by step, 2,000 years ago. Generations of farmers shaping the land so their children could eat. Tell me again that this is a poor country. Poor countries don't leave behind engineering marvels that last for millennia. Poor countries don't balance survival with art the way Filipinos have for centuries. Here's the twist though. These places weren't just tourist spots. They were homes, communities. In Palawan, fishermen guided me through coral reefs, explaining how they protect the ecosystem so future generations can fish. In Banoe, families still farm the terraces their ancestors built, carrying on traditions with pride. This wasn't just scenery, it was living history. And it showed me something the world doesn't see. The Philippines isn't just beautiful, it's wise, it knows balance. But even with landscapes that looked like paradise, it was the people who hit me hardest. Filipinos are different, warm in a way that feels disarming, kind in a way that feels rare. Everywhere I went, strangers smiled, waved, and welcomed me like family. Take Cebu, for example. I stumbled into a small village fiesta. I didn't know anyone, I wasn't invited, and yet within minutes, I was pulled into the crowd, handed food, and treated like a long-lost cousin. Music blasted, people danced, kids laughed. They didn't have much, but what they had, they shared, and that generosity wasn't charity. It was joy, pure joy in connection. That's when I realized something most outsiders miss. In wealth, the Philippines may not top charts, but in humanity, in hospitality, in heart, Filipinos are billionaires, and no statistic can measure that. Let's be brutally honest though, life here isn't easy. Typhoons batter the islands, earthquakes shake the ground, the economy struggles, families sacrifice, and yet through every hardship, Filipinos rebuild. They laugh, they sing, they carry on. Resilience isn't a buzzword here, it's everyday reality. And here's where sarcasm slices in. The world loves to label Filipinos as resilient, like it's some badge of honor. But resilience is just survival dressed up in nice words. Filipinos don't want to be resilient. They want to be respected. And after what I saw, respect is exactly what they deserve. So let me throw this to you. If you believe the Philippines' greatest treasure isn't just its beaches or its malls, but its people, type pride in the comments. Let the world see how wrong the stereotypes are. But here's where it gets even more shocking. Because just when I thought I had the Philippines figured out, the food, the culture, the landscapes, the people, I discovered something that flipped my perspective all over again. The Philippines isn't just surviving the present, it's racing into the future. Tech, education, ambition, building a destiny the world isn't ready for. And that's where we're going next. Because the final reality check, it's not just about what the Philippines is today, it's about what it's about to become. And trust me, that part shocked me most of all. By now, I had seen the modern cities, tasted the food, explored the landscapes, and felt the heart of the Filipino people. I thought I had the Philippines figured out, but then came the final reality check, the future. And it hit me harder than everything else combined. Because here's the truth. While the world still dares to label the Philippines poor, this country is quietly building a future many so-called developed nations should be jealous of. Start with technology. Did you know the Philippines has one of the highest social media usage rates in the world? Not just scrolling for fun, but using the digital world as a lifeline. Young entrepreneurs are building startups, launching apps, and driving e-commerce in ways most outsiders don't see. In Manila's business districts, co-working spaces buzz with freelancers, coders, and dreamers creating the next big thing. Even in rural towns, farmers use mobile apps to sell crops, students study with smartphones, and families run online businesses from kitchen tables. That's not stagnation. That's innovation with Wi-Fi. The education shocked me even more. I visited a rural school with bare classrooms, no modern tech, and limited books. Yet the students were lit up with ambition. They told me about dreams of becoming doctors, engineers, teachers. Their eyes carried fire. Despite shortages, they pushed forward with determination that felt unstoppable. And here's the kicker. The Philippines produces some of the most in-demand professionals in the world: nurses, engineers, IT specialists. While outsiders label the country poor, the world is quietly competing to hire its people. And let's talk economics. Outsourcing hubs in Manila, Cebu, and Davao are exploding. Major international companies are setting up shop here. Call centers? Sure, but it's more than that. It's fintech, IT, creative industries. The Philippines isn't just providing labor. It's becoming a global hub for services and innovation. The middle class is growing. The skyline is rising. The optimism, palpable. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't poverty still real? Yes, it is. Let's not sugarcoat it. Millions still struggle. Inequality exists. Corruption still bites. Natural disasters still hit hard. But here's the contrast. Poverty doesn't define the Philippines. Potential does. And that's the biggest shock. The image of a country stuck in survival is outdated. What I saw was a nation clawing its way toward a brighter future and actually getting there. Here's the sarcasm sting. Developed countries love to lecture the Philippines, calling it developing. But after what I saw, the ambition, the tech, the drive, maybe it's the developed nations that are developed but stuck, while the Philippines is developing but moving fast. And that's the real twist in this story. The Philippines isn't just changing how people see it, it's changing its role in the world. Every remittance, every innovation, every graduate with a dream, they're all building momentum toward a future where the Philippines isn't underestimated anymore. The final realization humbled me. The Philippines is not defined by poverty, but by strength. Not by struggle, but by resilience. Not by limitation, but by limitless ambition. So let me throw this back to you. Do you believe the Philippines is poor, or do you believe it's powerful? If you think the future belongs to this country, type future in the comments right now. Let's show the world what's really coming. And don't click away yet, because if you thought the Philippines shocked me, wait until you hear about the world leaders who are already betting big on this nation's rise. That's in the next video, and it will leave you stunned.